Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, world? Gorbachev here with none other than the man himself, Kman. What's going on, brother?
Nothing. Getting ready for conference championship games coming up in a couple hours here, Sunday, the 20th. How's it going?
I've been better, a little under the weather, but
Trying
won't
to
stop
squeeze,
me from guessing the lines and kicking the shit out of the bookmakers. That's what we do best, right?
yeah, trying to squeeze this in last second because been a rough week for you, I guess. Not sounding 100% over there.
It's okay. Even though I don't feel 100%, my guesses and breakdowns will be 100%.
100% wrong. No.
Probably.
Yeah. So, would you have anything you want to touch on from last week? A big favorite fest for the most part.
Yeah, I was gonna say dogs did not fare very well during the divisional round.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was not a great week for me, but I guess the Eagles did cover, so I had that going for me. uh, and then that Cowboys game was real tight. Like, what was it? 7.5. They won by 8, so that was right down to the wire. And that one, I didn't really have a good feeling. I was back and forth on. So yeah, not a good week though for me and underdogs alike.
The public dogs got slaughtered. Everyone was loving the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts were just terrible. Maybe yeah, the Colts.
The
Maybe
Chargers were like a sexy upset pick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought the Chargers had a better like talented team than the Patriots.
The
I
Chargers are a better team. I
still
feel
think
like.
they're more talented. I didn't really take into account the fact that Anthony Lynn versus Bill Belichick is a
Right.
small issue for the Chargers there. And Belichick just picked apart. That was embarrassing. That defense was good, and he just embarrassed them.
That was like
He's
one of
good.
the.
He's
That
so
was like
good at picking apart, like finding the weakness and exploiting it. Like you think teams would be able to adjust, but no one else seems to like. I don't understand how no one. It's like Belichick coaches on a completely different level than everyone else. It's just crazy that no one else can do it. Like it just
cheats on a different level than everyone else.
what?
He cheats on a different level than everyone else.
I guess you could.
Bella cheat and the Cheatriots.
Yeah, I mean, he's good now. I'll give him some credit there. And
That's one of the things where it's like looking back in retrospect, it felt like really obvious that
yeah,
we
I mean,
compare Belichick to Anthony Lynn. Like
it just I was trying to think like the
contrast.
more just like the talent will win out. I thought the Patriots might come back then because I don't trust the Chargers, but that was not a game for more than 2 drives.
Yeah, the first two drives, it was like they were keeping up, kind of,
Not
right?
really, no, I mean the first drive the Patriots took 8 minutes and walked down and scored easily, and then they just had a long kind of broken play, long touchdown, so that kind of kept it a game. But besides that, it was right after that it was over, completely over.
Did you think the Eagles, like when the Saints were down by 2 scores, that they still were going to come back? Or I kind of thought the Eagles were winning that game.
I thought the Saints were going to win after this. They scored at maybe in the first quarter. I thought it would be a game. I thought the Saints would definitely get some points at some point, but by halftime, like the Eagles could not do anything at all.
Yeah, the Saints D is what's been stepping up.
Yeah, the Saints have a solid day. But I didn't think the Eagles were going to win that game, but after
Alshon Jeffrey, though, if he doesn't
they had a
catch,
shot.
I feel like the Eagles are winning that game.
They had a shot for sure.
They would have been on like the 25, 30-yard line, like driving.
Yeah, they were within the 30. I think that drop was near the red zone.
Yeah.
But it's just the Eagles all year. They could not close games out. Like they were just. They're a team I do not trust at the end of a game to come through. So almost every game that was down to the wire with them was. They had one or two that they pulled out later in the season with Foles, but they were not a very good closing team this year. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad in retrospect. It is, I guess, the 4 best teams if we're looking at the seeds. So it is a good conference championship week. It's good matchups. Really excited about it. So you have anything else you want to touch on, or should we get into it?
No, I agree. I think it's the 4 best teams and probably the best matchups we could have asked for. So
yeah, Yep, and it's a lot of offense, a lot of good offenses here.
Some good defenses too. I mean,
solid is. I mean, I wouldn't call these. I mean, Chiefs and the Patriots haven't been that great defensively all year. The Chiefs have been better at home on D, but the Rams have some stars on D. But even all these teams' defenses have not been great. I call them maybe pretty average defenses.
Yeah. So there should be some high-scoring games.
Well, totals will be high-scoring or higher on the higher side, yes. But
let's get into it. So game 1 on Sunday, 3:00. What do we got? It's the Rams in New Orleans.
Yep. 3:00.
In the dome. What was your line?
I was between 3 and 3.5 on this. I thought you got to give the home team like 3, but I was trying to decide how much better I thought the Saints were, if they deserved that little extra half. I did decide 3.5 for this one, but I was really torn on it between those two, so I went 3.5.
Yeah, I thought the Rams have been looking pretty good on offense the last few weeks. I know Gurley's 100%, and the Saints, being how they didn't look that great for most of that game on last Sunday against the Eagles, I actually made the line 2.5. I said the Saints would be minus 2.5.
Yeah, it's in between. It's 3. So, I mean, that makes sense to me.
It looks like it's trickled up to 3.5 is the consensus most places.
Well, I saw it on Pinnacle, it's 3, but I have seen 3.5 on that game also, so it is kind of right in that range. I think it makes sense. It's what I was thinking, in the sense that it should be 3, but if you're going to move it that extra half, I think it's more on the Saints 3.5 side than the Rams 2.5 side. If you had 2.5, I feel like you get probably a little more Saints money at home. That's the reason that I'm thinking the 3.5.
Yeah, they got a good home field advantage.
And I think Goff's been a little suspect on the road too. So there is a definite
Gurley's not 100% clearly, but he still looked fine.
He looked fine. CJ Anderson was tearing Dallas apart, so they didn't even need to go all Gurley on him. But both of those guys killed him.
And the Dallas had a pretty good defense, I thought. Their run defense wasn't as good as their pass defense.
Yeah, they have a good secondary, and they have some linebackers too, though. But
the Rams tore them up.
No, yeah, they kind of destroyed them. I guess it was close spread wise, but it wasn't really a game too much. It was down 2 scores, and they kind of punched one in at the end there.
I guess if it's 3.5 or 3. I think the Saints are going to win, but I feel like it could be a close game. I haven't loved the Saints the last month and a half. I don't think Brees has looked 100%. They have not been as good as they were all year. And I think they're pretty much even. I think these teams are very close, maybe slight edge defensively to the Saints, but Aaron Donald himself kind of nullifies that a little bit. So if it's 3.5, I think the Rams are the play. At 3, I'd still slightly leave the Rams, but 3.5, it's hard not for me to like the Rams. I think they could win this game. I think the Saints do win, but it would not shock me for the Rams to pull out the win here with how the Saints have looked in my mind for the last two months or so. What do you think? Yeah, I'm kind of I feel like it's it's so lopsided between Goff versus Brees.
And that is a little. I am a little nervous about that.
I don't know how much magic McVay is going to be able to work into Goff to pull out this win. But that being said, their offense is I think the Rams' offense is better than the Saints' offense. If you're just looking at apples to apples,
I think they're two of the better ones in the league. I think that Sean Payton and Sean McVay are both very, very good offensive coaches. I think I might give a slight advantage to McVay right now. He's just kind of a little more dynamic, a little more outside the box. He's kind of that kind of cutting edge, gets a lot of guys in motion. But I mean, both are very good offenses. And I don't know if Drew Brees has not looked great to me. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's wrong with him, but obviously it is scary. Drew Brees is definitely better than Goff, but what McVay has been able to get out of Goff for the last year or two, it's been very. I never even loved Goff in general. I just think I think McVay is a really good coach. And then again, this total, I don't know. I saw the numbers. If you want to take a shot at it, or you want me to just give it just to.
Yeah, I think I saw it too, but I don't remember it. I feel like it's going to be in like mid 50s, like
Yeah, it's
55 and
around.
a half, 56.
They're both right around the same. Yeah, it's 55 and a half. Again, it makes sense to me. You have any feeling on how the game's going to go scoring wise? I mean, obviously these are four of the best offenses and some mediocre-ish defenses, so they're obviously on the higher sides total number wise. But I guess I don't know. The Saints offense hasn't looked as dominant lately, and their defense has really honestly been quietly like the reason they've been winning some games the last month or two. Not the only reason, but they're definitely not getting talked about enough in my mind. The Saints D. It is kind of on the higher side, I guess. I think it might be a teeny bit lower scoring than people are expecting. I don't feel amazing about going against those offenses, but I guess kind of small.
What is the actual number?
I said 55 and a half.
It's 55 and a half.
Yeah.
Well, they played a 45-35 game.
I know, and then both of these teams played this year against each other, and they were both shootouts, like massively high-scoring games. So, I mean, that's probably fresh in people's minds, and the fact that these are four of the best offenses in the game, it's probably going to get a lot of over money, I'd expect, on public.
Yeah, I think there's value on the under just because I feel like the Saints could play a ball control game and run it a lot.
I'm thinking
I also don't think the Saints D is going to get burned like that.
I think that both these running games are going to be pretty heavily involved. They're going to want to pound it out and grind out. They prefer to run. Both of these teams would like to control the clock that way. I mean, they both can throw. They both have great aerial attacks. They both can go deep and have big play ability. But ideally, these teams want to kind of keep the other offenses off the field. That would be the game plan if I was going in. So yeah, I mean, I think I've seen between 3 and 3.5. So I do think that half point is a big deal. But at 3.5, I definitely think I'd lean the Rams, and I'd probably slightly lean the under. So I think the Rams. I think it's a close game. I'm not sure who I think wins. I mean, probably the Saints, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams won. But I think it's more in the mid 20s, low to mid, like 24,
24, 27, or 24.
In that range, mid 20s. I think they're both around the mid 20s. This game.
Yeah, in the playoffs, the games tend to be a little more defensive.
I mean, yeah, the first round they definitely were very defensive.
Also, in the range of outcomes that the Saints just outclassed the Rams, and they could win by 20.
They haven't looked overly amazing to me the last 2 months.
Waiting for these games all year since the last years.
It's possible. It's possible, but I mean, would you be shocked if the Rams won also?
By double digits if the Rams
not double digits. Like just to win the game.
Like, no, I can see the Rams winning if Breeze has a few. I don't know. Throws.
I don't know. Think of speak against the Eagles. I think I think they could have easily lost that game if the Eagles weren't so terrible. But yeah, I mean, I think it wouldn't shock me for this to be a tighter game. I mean, the Saints are very good at home, so I guess it wouldn't completely shock me for them to run away with it, but I feel like it's more likely that it's a tighter game. But again, all these teams are very closely matched, so I feel like every game should be close, but I mean, there were a couple blowouts obviously last week, but they have been pretty tight for the most part this playoffs outside of a couple games last week.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I like the Saints. I think they're going to I hope they do it, and I think they will do it. But
you think the Saints to cover?
Yeah, I think they can.
Oh, you're saying, I thought you said Rams earlier, but
no, I think the Saints are definitely most likely going to win.
Yeah, I mean they're the favorite. They should win. I don't think it's out of the. I think that it's closer than people expect. Do you think the Saints win? Do you think they cover?
If they win, a good chance. It depends if you get 3 or 3.5. But
well, yeah. I mean, either way, it's not. Either one's a push. It's only a difference of a push if they win by the field goal, which could happen. Obviously,
win by 4, very likely outcome.
So you think you like the Saints? Do you have a feel on the over or under?
I think I like the under.
Yeah, so we both like the under. I guess Rams. You like Saints there. So yeah, should be a good game though. I think it's closer. I mean, I hope it's a close game because I want to see a good tight battle. But yeah, let's should be coming up here next hour or so. Within the next
All
hour.
right, let's shift over to Kansas City. Got the AFC Championship game. Patriots on the road against the Chiefs. I actually had a really interesting line for this one. I said the Chiefs were a 1.5 underdog.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're crazy. I had
crazy, but
the Chiefs
I feel like that's a good line.
I had the Chiefs -3 at home.
You gave them -3?
Yeah, it is -3. I was right. You gotta make the home team a couple point favorite. They have been better, honestly, than the Patriots have been this year. I get the Belichick angle, but I was thinking it could be between 2.5 or 3. I ended up picking 3, just because I mean the Patriots are a pop. Everyone expects the Patriots to win every game. I do think that the Chiefs are more talented. Not that that's mattered, but they are at home, which is different than which is I think again a big deal. They have a very solid home field.
Eric Berry's back.
Yeah, he's playing.
Not sure how much that's gonna.
I mean, he helps if he's healthy. It's definitely helps. Though their defense looked really good last week against the Colts. It shut down Luck completely.
Yeah. Well, they were outclassed, the Colts. They were in over their heads, and I don't know. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to go wild like he did in other games. The Patriots should contain him.
Hill went off against the Patriots last time they played earlier this year. Belichick's really good at taking out your best weapon. However,
they got Kelsey too to worry about.
Weapons that you can't take them all out. He took out Kelsey somewhat. I think Kelsey had like five catches for 61 yards, somewhere in that area. So it's a decent game. Obviously not an amazing game for him, but that's all right. And then Tyreek Hill burnt them. So, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to stop this offense. I don't know how Belichick's going to stop this offense completely. I don't know if he's going to try to kind of limit Kelsey or Hill. Like last time I think Kelsey personally is a little bit better, but Hill's the big play guy. So you got to worry about that. Again, this to me, I think this is a high scoring game. It's a high total again. It's 50.
Yeah, don't you have snow and wind and like 15 degrees?
It's cold, but that didn't stop the Patriots offense in Boston or in Foxborough last week. And I don't think it stops Mahomes personally with how good they've been. Again, yeah, that is a factor, but I think
you have the Patriots who can exploit any holes in a defense, which KC has a lot of holes.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a higher scoring game.
They have the experience.
Yeah, I think it'll be a higher scoring game. I think I don't know as much. I don't have a heavy lean on the side. I think Casey's a little better and they're at home. I think they win, but I wouldn't want to lay a field goal personally. If it was 2.5, maybe I'd take the Chiefs, but I don't think I'd want to do it at 3. I feel like everyone would take the Patriots. To me, I wouldn't make
Patriots are the public side right now.
I'd expect that personally they win every year. Anyone who's just they're just gonna say, oh, the Patriots are in the Super Bowl every year. I'll take the Patriots as underdogs. To me, that's what I feel like the public would do. I could be wrong though.
But it's Mahomes and how great they did and how amazing that offense is at home.
And KC was one of the best teams in the league all year. But I don't know. I think people will be I think it'll be slightly more Patriots money for personally, but I don't know. I mean, 3, I think it's the right number because I don't really know what to take. I hope the Chiefs win. I personally prefer to see them. I'm kind of sick of the Patriots myself, and I don't.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Chiefs win this game, and it would be an interesting Super Bowl. Chiefs,
no matter what it is, it'll be interesting, but I prefer the Chiefs. I think they're more explosive, a little more fun. Like the Patriots kind of just they'll poke you to death until like they'll just dink and dunk their way. Like they'll do whatever they need to, and it can be boring and slow sometimes. They'll drain out. They'll have 15 play drives score.
James White had freaking 5 catches in the first half of the first quarter last week. James White against the Chargers, he had 5 or 6 catches.
They do that, and James White has 10 catches every game. they just dump it off to him because he's always like he'll get 5-6 yards on like that little dump off every time. And
I
it
also
works.
heard a crazy stat that Tom Brady has. This is pretty crazy. Tom Brady has more playoff
I
wins
saw that in the rest of
than any other quarterback in games.
Yeah.
Games
Yep,
played.
I saw that. I mean, it doesn't shock me. First of all, Mahomes is a rookie. Goff's very young. It's a lot of young, and then Breeze is the only one that it would.
Oh, all in NFL history.
What do you mean NFL history?
In NFL history, he's got more playoff wins than any other quarterback in history of playoff games played.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's why.
I saw the stat I was thinking of was it was maybe even last week that he had more playoff wins than the rest of all the playoff quarterbacks last week had like total playoff starts. Yeah. So a similar idea.
That makes sense because that's like Goff and Mahomes.
No, but they have Breeze too. And it might have been the week before where there were still more guys left in it, like Rivers and them. But I don't remember. Either way, I mean, it's.
I feel like you can't overthink it, and I guess this could be a public side, but it's like you got Belichick and Brady getting 3 points. Like I'm just gonna take that.
Yeah, I feel like that's what people are gonna think, and it wouldn't shock me. I don't really. I'm just trying to see what's going on in KC weather-wise. Yeah, it's just cold. There's no like rain or anything.
NFL.com fan pick'em has 66% on the Saints.
No, but what about the other game?
I just saw it on TV. I don't know what the other game has. I would imagine it could be 50-50, closer to 50-50 though.
I mean, I agree.
Home field is so big. Home field is so important.
It's tough not to take the 3 here. With the Patriots could definitely win the game, and they already beat them. So it's obviously, I think it's a tight game. So yeah, usually I take the points. I don't know. Personally, I'm not even going to pick it. I want the Chiefs to win the game, obviously. That doesn't mean, I think it'll be a close game too. So I guess it does make sense to take the points, but I think the Chiefs could also win this game, and I think they could win by a field goal. It wouldn't shock me.
If the defenses are going to step up, I feel like it's the Patriots D that steps up and flusters Mahomes rather than Brady getting flustered and like making bad throws and whatnot, and the Chiefs D actually stepping up.
The Chiefs D looked pretty good last week, and Barry's back, but I don't know. You don't think the home field's like you're not worried about that at all? Like
no, the Patriots just go in, they just take care of business usually.
He's also a good coach. I mean, he hasn't been great in the playoffs, but I think he's a good. I like him personally. I think he's a good coach. He's been consistently good for 15 years, whatever it's been. But Belichick's been consistent.
He could be due for a Super Bowl.
Belichick's obvious. I mean, it seems kind of obvious to take the Patriots to me. Like I like the Patriots are just always.
Reed hasn't been in a Super Bowl since like 15 years ago with Donovan McNabb, right?
Yeah, he's had a bad playoff run. I mean,
he could do. He might be due for this.
I mean, he's definitely a good coach. They're consistently playoff team. His teams are consistently in the playoffs every year, pretty much. But Belichick's been obviously much better in the playoffs. I'm sure head-to-head in the playoffs, when they ever happen, I'm sure Belichick has a good record there. But I don't know. I feel better about this being a higher scoring game than I do about picking a side. I think KC
the total is a little higher than the other game, right?
No, it's the same. It's 56, so it's a half point higher.
Okay.
But I also saw it lower in some, like earlier in the week, it might have been like a little lower and moved up. But I think I saw around like 54 in some like pick'ems I was doing, so 54.5 range.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how either of these defenses really stopped other offenses. Obviously, they played to 43-40 earlier this year. But the same, but like I said earlier, both these matchups were early in the year, very high scoring games. But yeah, I feel like this one, I don't know how either team holds the other one under 27-28 at the absolute lowest.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the defenses to step up here, this is also good value on the under.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel better about the first game under. Like, I think that Drew Brees their Saints offense and Drew Brees hasn't looked 100%, like something might be kind of wrong. And the Goff on the road, I don't completely trust. This one, I'm having more trouble finding a reason to not go over. So, like, I don't want to just blindly take the unders just because they're higher. But
Right.
like I said, I think the first one I could see it being a little lower scoring, like people trying the running games really being heavily involved. I don't see the running games being as. I feel like they're both going to want to attack, and they're both big play. Like I see the Chiefs are obviously a big play team, so um, even more. I guess the Rams can be too, but I trust Mahomes a little more than Goff. Obviously, Mahomes at home versus Goff on the road. It seems like a big discrepancy there. But yeah, I mean, I think they're both close games, but I mean they're really the four best teams in the league. So I think home field is a big deal for both these games. So yeah, I hope it's. What would you like to see for the Super Bowl? What would be your ideal Super Bowl matchup? Chiefs Saints.
I think I'd like to see uh, Patriots Saints. I mean, I think that's what the NFL wants.
Well, they want Brady. Brady Breeze would be a good, obviously, good story.
I also want the Saints to win it all because I have a future on them, and I feel like they have a better chance of beating the Chiefs than the Patriots. So I would want to see.
So what? All right, that's what you want. What do you think?
I think it's going to be Saints Pats.
Saints. Well, yeah, you picked those two. I guess that makes sense.
I just think that Brady and Belichick are just going to somehow figure out a way to do it again.
They have for their whole career. So
Mahomes is going to make one mistake more than Brady is going to make, and between Sony Michel and James White, they're just going to like keep grinding down that defense, and it might be like too little, too late to play catch up with the Patriots. They're going to build a big enough lead.
yeah, I could see that. I do think I prefer if I'd like to see a I really don't care the NFC. I'm kind of torn. I think the Saints haven't looked as great of late, but they've been really good all year. And I like Breeze more than Goff, obviously, so that's that. But kind of prefer. I mean, I kind of want to see that rematch of that amazing 100-point game, the Chiefs Rams. I'd like to see personally. But what do I think it'll be? I think it'll be Saints Chiefs is what I think. But I
don't think there's not a bad matchup.
No, yeah, all of these games are great, and that the NFL is in good shape there. All the best. It's the four best teams, and really any of them should be good. So yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to the game starting here pretty soon, actually. So, you have anything you want to throw in last minute, or I think we covered mostly everything.
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Yeah. So enjoy the game, everyone. We'll be back. We got a nice 2-week break, so maybe.
But we'll be back for the Super Bowl. Guess the lines. Oh, what's your look ahead line Super Bowl? What would you have it as?
I don't know the matchup. How am I going to pick it?
Just NFC versus AFC. I think the NFC has to probably be a -2.5, 3-point favorite.
I honestly don't have.
If the Rams win, then I think the NFC will be an underdog.
I'll say pick them because I honestly don't even. I think all these teams are close. I really don't even. It depends on the matchup personally, but I think it'll be under 2.5 regardless. It'll be very tight. I think these are very evenly matched teams, all four.
Yeah. All right, let's get it. Good luck this week.
Enjoy the game, everyone.
Baby, Kman and Gorbachev out.